how does that give you any idea to like your philosophy on growth?
Because I see education not happening in the classroom, but in the classroom and in the rest of your life.
So hot.
Yeah, a little bit warm.
I don't know if it's good weather or bad weather for you.
It's so-so. I grew up in a really rural place, so I was used to heat like this. But now I live on the West Coast, and so I'm much more acclimated to a cooler climate.
Right. Yeah, so talk a little bit more about your upbringing, right? How does that shape yourself?
Right, so I was brought up in the very rural Midwest, just south of Ontario, Minnesota. I was actually homeschooled, which means that my parents were responsible for teaching me, and I didn't attend public school. And I was homeschooled from first grade all the way until I graduated high school and went to university.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that about me.
I've heard of the term, but I never know how it can actually work, right? And practically speaking, for example, I would think about things like credit. How can you get credit?
Of course.
And who would recognize this credit, right?
Yeah.
And how can you get your credit accredited by different?
Yeah, it varies by state, and of course the accommodations the state provides is variable too. But where I was growing up, all you had to do was take one standardized test a year, and then the state gave you credit.
I got it.
Yeah, and so then how you prepared for that test and what you studied was completely up to the people who were overseeing your education, in my case, my family.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a pass or not pass kind of thing,
and
right? So once you pass, you get a credit.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, there's so much variation with children, so I would maybe be ahead in some areas and behind in others. All the state wanted to see was that I was taking that test and producing results, and then I could move on. And then for graduation, compile all of the things for a high school class and submit the form, and then...
Yeah, well, since you have this actually hands-on experience on this, so do you think that would make a big difference in terms of like your social capacity? Because, it turned out that you're so liked in all kinds of social circumstances, and you also have a very clear understanding of, the career path you want to choose, you want to go for, and the field of study you have been in, right? So it seems that doesn't make that much of a difference.
At the end of the day, yes and no. I think that it's given me a really holistic look on education, because I see education not happening in the classroom, but in the classroom and in the rest of your life. And when you help students understand that learning does not have an on and off switch, I think they have a much more healthy approach to learning, and one that extends beyond just their graduation. That's a much better way to live life, I think. That's really my personal philosophy. I asked my mother once, how will I know when I'm done learning, when I've learned enough? And she said, never.
Great. So talk a little bit about your the field of study you choose, and then the career you're doing, of course.
Right.
We have a shared career.
Yeah.
It's my honor. Okay. Yeah, so how do you think the field of study can reflect your passion or personality? How do you think that fits you in all kinds of aspects?
So I started my field of study when I began university was mathematics. Yeah, right?
Your undergraduate?
I did not finish it. I started it.
Oh.
I wasn't in a place in my life to be focused and doing the best in math at that point, although it's a passion that I've maintained and an interest I've maintained ever since. So I found that there are a lot of skills that I liked in math that were applicable to English, for instance, logical thinking about, the bigger picture of a problem and then the smaller pieces of that. Same thing with essays and paragraphs and sentences. It's the whole and the parts all at once. So that translated very naturally to English for me. But there was a chance for an expression that I appreciated within the fields. And then in terms of teaching, it's so rewarding to get to teach English, because it's like you get to learn it for the first time every time you teach it, and that's so exciting.
And at which point during your undergraduate did you start to realize you want to quit the math path and then transfer it all for good into English?
I was pretty unhappy, and I was going to an appointment in a building, and I passed a poster for my very favorite author at the time was coming to campus to talk. And I said, "It's a divine sign."
It's your epiphany.
It was randomness. It was, I mean, but maybe there's some combination between those things. But I saw the poster and I thought, that's enough of this. I'm going to study English.
And which year was that?
Oh gosh, 20...
No, in your undergraduate.
2012?
Which year of your undergraduate?
Oh, maybe year 1 or 2.
Year 1 or 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you never know, because life is full of those miraculous small moments, you know, and you gradually get combine all those moments together, you basically would be a different person, right? You think back to just,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think it's better to be a little bit flexible than to be rigid on a goal, because you can never predict what's going to happen. When you're flexible, you can adapt to things much more easily.
So how does that give you any idea to like your philosophy on growth overall?
I think that philosophy on growth, of course there's big moments like that where you realize you are on the wrong course, or maybe a course that's not rolling smoothly, but it's also an accumulation of whatever you've been doing will sort of magnify over time. So I had been reading a lot, and so when I reached that moment, that crossroads, so to speak, it wasn't like things suddenly changed. It was everything I've been doing up to that point carried me over naturally. And so my philosophy on growth is that whatever you are doing now, if you keep doing it, it's going to be even bigger in the next 5 years, for better or for worse, which is why I think it's so important to do little small things every day that you want to see magnified in the future.
Is it similar to what people say is living the moment?
Only in the sense that everything is made up of lots and lots of little moments put together. And so if you do a lot of those little moments, maybe I want to, read more, so I read 10 minutes every day, that all those moments of reading gather up at the end. But I think if completely in the moment, you lose sight kind of the bigger picture of things.
So talk a little about cycling, because I know that's your favorite.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is it a sport?
I think it's a sport.
Yeah, I think it's sport too.
It's a sport, it's a hobby,
Yeah,
it's a social outlet.
I'm trying to define whether it's a sport or it's just an activity.
I think it depends on the way you approach it. I mean, if I go to the grocery store on my bicycle to get groceries, I'm not going to call that a sport.
Yeah.
But if I cycle, 200 kilometers in a day, I think that's probably a sport.
Yeah.
Even though I knew how to ride a bike a little bit as a kid, I didn't start riding seriously until I was maybe 18 or so. And then I was growing up very rural, as I mentioned, no friends living nearby. I was homeschooled, so I didn't have a lot of, companions. And the town was maybe 20 kilometers away. There's nothing to do. But we had an old 1980s or so Schwinn, and it was broken. The tires were flat. It was internal gear hub, so there was nothing to change the gear. It shifted gears whenever it wanted to. There was no controlling it. But I would ride that all over the countryside, past, the old store that had been there for like maybe 100 years, past farms and fields, past the old cemetery, and these all became kind of landmarks. And I felt so integrated into the landscape. Every space had a different aura to it, different smell, a different atmosphere. And I felt so connected to the world around me through that I really was hooked.
That was when you were young, right?
Oh, I was a teenager then. Yeah, because living in the countryside, it was dirt roads, not very comfortable to cycle on.
You kind of keep that activity going on.
Yeah, when I moved out for university to the Twin Cities of Minnesota, Minneapolis and St. Paul, I cycled all over the cities. And then when I moved to Vancouver, British Columbia, a very, very bike-friendly city, I can cycle 50 out of 52 weeks in the year because the weather is so mild, by my standards. Other people don't want to do it, but I will be out there in a blizzard cycling home if I can. And then that expanded from the practical, every day I have to go get groceries on my bicycle, I want to go see a friend, to just going as far as I could. So I recently completed a trip from Vancouver to California.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I took about a week to cycle to California, and I told myself I'll head in the direction of San Francisco and we'll see what happens.
How long did the whole journey take?
The whole journey, I spent 8.5 days on a bicycle. I would cycle 12 hours a day. I averaged about 200 kilometers a day, give or take. And there were a lot of hills, so I was a little slower than I otherwise wanted to be.
Are you alone?
I was alone, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I felt very safe, though. I took basic safety precautions. I shared my location. I was very cautious. I always listened to my gut. If something feels bad, I'm not going to stay around.
I don't know if listen to my gut is for a safe purpose or no?
I think so. So there's a book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker, and he used to be a personal consultant for celebrities who were facing security risks. And his whole book, the thesis is that we are actually much better attuned to listening to our social cues than we give ourselves credit for. So if you listen to your instincts, your body is processing all this information. Your body knows the threat before your mind recognizes it.
I trust that.
Yeah, right? It's a really good book. It's very good. So that's what I mean when I said listen
I'm
to my
also
gut.
the kind of person who only follows my gut.
Yeah.
I shouldn't use this word. I just don't like it. It sounds a little bit rude.
Follow your instincts.
Yeah.
Follow your intuition.
It's just follow my heart.
Yeah.
That's a more romantic way to
Yeah.
say it. But now the world prefers follow my gut.
Follow your heart. The heart tells me don't stay in this town. Leave.
Okay. So you pretty much gave another answer. In terms of a relatively long journey, when you have a clear destination, would you go just like hold your breath and go to the end, or would you take a pause?
I'm the type to go as far as I possibly can in the longest duration, but that's just my style. And I think it's really important that people listen to themselves and what feels good to them, or it won't be enjoyable. I prefer to go very long distances, but if somebody wants to go shorter, that's good.
And how do you think that attitude or that kind of choice represents you in other aspects of life?
I think that it reflects my philosophy for kind of no size fits all, no one size fits all. Learning is going to look different for everybody. Life is going to look different for everybody. What fits me won't fit you, and that's okay. And that's the way I approach my education too.
I see. So you take that more as like an individual representation instead of something like holding one's breath and going to the end represents the attitude for challenge or a courage or something.
I think that it's important to be determined, but that determination has to be backed up by stamina and by rest and by good health. So that's why when I cycle those long distances, it's not that I can just get on my bike and go. I've been training for a long time, but I also make sure I'm sleeping and eating and drinking water. Same thing with facing any challenge, be it educational or a physical challenge or a personal challenge. You have to be prepared and you have to take time to rest and get ready for those things before you can go that far.
Great. So I assume that you would psych till you can't.
Yeah.
Now, you still cook for yourself?
I do, yeah. I have kind of a ritual. My wife and I cook dinner every night, and it's a whole to-do. She'll prepare all the meals, I wash the dishes. We listen to music or a podcast together, and it's the best part of my day of winding down. The work is over, we're spending time together, we're creating a meal. And so it's not just sharing a meal together, it's sharing the process of making it. That's really lovely. It's helped me with my work-life balance, I think, a lot.
Yeah, great. So I think it might be just very small moments, but lots of the small moments can grant us power in a way, right? But in different sense. So that might be, the power of family or the power of love, something. I don't know. You can define it in your own way. Yeah. But I guess as women, we feel power, our sense of love, I don't know, in different ways. So how would you define that in your life?
Feeling these moments of power? I think it comes from feeling like a really all-encompassing confidence. And that comes from knowing that you're good at something, which is difficult to do, especially because as women we are often told we're not good enough from the media, from peers, what be it. And so it's especially important for everybody to have these moments where they feel good at something. And maybe it is that moment of I cooked this meal and I'm good at it, or for me, I fixed this bicycle and I'm good at it and it's good. And that confidence carries over to other areas of your life too.
I have to think about it, what is those good moment for me.
You told me you liked singing, right? And that you were good at singing.
Yeah, right now maybe piano gives me more sense of achievement. Because I'm trying to do well in it. Although I haven't invested lots of time in it, but I'm trying to really do well in it. I don't know. I feel maybe good achievements in career can give me a lot of sense of confidence, and making money can give me a sense of confidence.
It's an easy one because there's a number.
Yeah, maybe. I don't have. I may have some feminine moments within myself, but they're not easily perceived by others, I feel.
Do you think they need to be perceived by others?
Good question. maybe you know, because everyone, we all have people we care, right? And so I hope that they can feel my moments of, I don't know, power or whatever. Yeah. But you're right. That's a good question to think about.
I think it's important because there's people that we look up to as well, right? Who've done things, who've accomplished feats, or have lived in a way that we find worth emulating. So maybe we should try to have those moments where they're good for us internally, but others maybe can.
But you know, keeping them to ourselves is can also create a sense of power.
Absolutely, yeah. Those moments, I think that's kind of it's like the end of where language can take us. Not only maybe are they ones we should keep to ourselves, but some of them are just ineffable and we can't put them into language. And we can try and try and try, and that's the work of literature and writing and reading. But at the end of the day, some of them are just too personal to share.
Yeah. Great. Well, in the end, the way we sit facing each other makes me think of some old movies, maybe the cover of old movies, like the one when Harry meets...
When Harry Met Sally?
Oh, yeah, when Harry Met Sally. Okay, we can give a title to our session as When Sophie Meets Andrea.
My dinner with Sophie.
Okay.